Now look at the headline over here on PBS. This is PBS News. Jewish groups condemn Nazi flag display at Sanders, Arizona rally. That's how they tee this shit up. So now, as you can see, PBS News has the fodder to go, oh, well, Jewish groups, aka the ADL, condemned a Nazi flag at a Bernie Sanders rally. We're going to talk about something that's going on in Democratic politics right now that came across my radar because of Twitter. And this, to me, it ties into Zoran, because if you've noticed what's going on with Zoran right now, he is being demonized at a level that is just so obvious. And I have proofs of this. We're definitely going to go into the details on all of that next. But first, we're going to talk about this guy in Maine, this Platner dude. And I happened to see, a couple different people talking about this. And it wasn't until it came across my radar on Twitter that I went, what's going on here? And then it hit me. Oh, here we go again. Here's the Democrats virtue signaling themselves into a corner again. So I don't know if you remember this, but Bernie, when Bernie was running, he was on Joe Rogan. In fact, the reason I even care about Joe Rogan now is because of that appearance. I didn't watch Joe Rogan until Bernie Sanders showed up on his show. And I don't know if you remember the aftermath of that. Bernie Sanders had to go and apologize because all of the pearl clutching, fucking weak-minded, just the worst, most the pond scum, the disgusting scum on the bottom of your shoe, people in the Democratic Party who virtue signal about every little thing and pretend like their sensitivities need to be the end all be all of the entire party, came out and made him apologize for going on Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan was a racist or a right wing or whatever. And he did it like a good little doggy. And so fast forward to this Graham Platner dude. Now, listen, let's just assume that the guy was a Nazi or that the tattoo he got was a Nazi tattoo or whatever. Who fucking cares? It's not like he's going to be the dictator that runs the entire goddamn ship. So when I saw the Democrats stepping on their rakes again over this Graham Platner guy, I had to, go into the bushes about it. This is the first place I went. So this is AIPAC Tracker endorsing this guy's candidacy. And here's what they say. We're excited to support Graham for Maine to replace AIPAC Senator Susan Collins. Graham Platner is courageously calling out genocide in Gaza and has taken a principled stand by rejecting support from AIPAC and the rest of the pro-genocide Israel lobby. This is the moral clarity and integrity we desperately need in the Senate. Mainers deserve a senator who will fight for their health care, their economic security, and their futures, not for the interests of a foreign government. Join us in supporting a leader who puts Mainers and American value first. So this is from, the date on this tweet was August 26th of 2025. So a couple months ago. And so AIPAC Tracker came out and supported this guy because he doesn't take money from the Israel lobby. And he, is a left-leaning guy. That is the new thing, basically. The left accuses everyone of being a far-right Nazi, and the right accuses everyone of being a commie. And it's just like, when that argument comes out, you're dealing with the dumbest fucking people in the debate. You're dealing with these folks. Ain't that America for you and me? Ain't that America? So I had to research a little bit on Graham Platner. So, where do you go when you want to know what Democrats, shit libs, brunch libs, stock and trade Democrats are thinking? You go to the source, MSNBC. That's where liberal thoughts are manufactured, the place where liberal thoughts are manufactured and distributed. Democrats just learned a hard lesson from Graham Platner. So let's read this article real quick and just get into the weeds here. Progressive search for a fresh face hits its first hiccup. And I think this article is actually pretty good. So Eugene Daniels, props to you, Eugene. You do a pretty good job with this article. Let's blaze through it here. When it came time to recruit candidates for next year's midterm, some Democrats had a goal of finding political newcomers who don't talk like Beltway insiders and are ready to fight back against the Trump administration. As the saying goes, be careful what you wish for. U.S. Senate candidate Graham Platner of Maine, a gruff veteran turned oysterman, seemed to fit the bill. Marrying left-leaning policies with the blunt talk of the blue-collar men Democrats have been hoping to win back. Some in the party fell in love. Others thought that two-term Democratic Governor Janet Mills, who jumped in the race in mid-October, might be a less risky choice. Their point was underscored this month. Key line here. When an avalanche of opposition research on Platner began making headlines. Opposition research, very similar to the Russiagate thing. Clearly, people who want to get this guy knocked out of the race for reasons, which I think we can all pretty much safely surmise here. The information was largely drawn from his Reddit account, where he posted under the name P. Hustle. The post something in there to offend everyone, including Platner, referring to himself as a communist, calling cops bastards, making insensitive marks about a sexual assault, and arguing that black customers don't tip. So under a fake, not fake, but under a basically anonymous handle, he made some racist jokes like everyone does. He said some shit that was offensive about sexual assault, like a lot of people do, like these Republicans that just got busted saying they like, oh, I love Hitler, or whatever the fuck they said in their secret chat. And this is opposition research. Who's releasing this information? Who from Reddit? Who runs Reddit? And who's the person from Reddit that dumped this information out to the public? Then came the centerpiece, the revelation that Platner had a tattoo that resembled a symbol associated with Nazis. He's since had it covered up and has said that he did not realize the supposed Nazi connection when he got it. So this all just reeks of smear campaign. And unfortunately, a lot of the lefty people on the internet bought it. They instantly jumped to, okay, this guy is a terrible person who is probably a Nazi, because all the fucking media sources who told me the same shit about, Trump was a secret Russian spy and, get 12 boosters, you're going to kill you and me. All of a sudden, these guys are all jumping on the train with this Platner guy. These are clearly manufactured smears. So this is how I kind of came into this debate about this guy. This is a tweet I saw this morning. Black and brown leftists watching electoral socialists defend a mercenary war criminal with a Nazi tattoo because universal health care. So again, this is the kind of dumb fucking pearl clutching, unnecessary racializing of issues that the left shoots themselves in the foot with every fucking time. And I honestly believe that people like this are ops, that they're put there to create this kind of like, oh, we can't have this guy. So, and again, how I started this piece by showing you this guy was rejected AIPAC money and is a kind of like one of those people who was right out the gate going to be on the Zionists' radar and is looking like he might win. And so why I just don't get how, otherwise intelligent people can let this kind of dumb shit creep into their psyche without questioning it. It's just so stupid. And it's clear. So this is what I said right here. I tried to remind this person what happened during the Bernie movement. Normal people, this is my response. Normal people watching dumb fucks clutch their pearls and pretend blank is a Nazi again because they're the most retarded and easily propagandized morons in the universe. Hey, guess what? Bernie Sanders is a Nazi. Jewish groups condemn Nazi flag display at Sanders. As soon as you get anywhere near the conch, these lobbies are going to come out. And now you understand what a grip, a lobby like AIPAC has on Congress. They're going to throw every goddamn mental op they can at a guy like this to make sure that they don't lose a seat of a Susan Collins who they invested good money, I guarantee you, to get in there. They don't want to lose that spot to a guy like this. And the dumb fuck leftists who will get. So again, like I said, let me show you this. This is the last slide. I'll show you this. This is one of the things I think was interesting about this Bernie Sanders smear. And I'm sure if you really dug in for the receipts, you could probably find similar stuff in relation to this guy being smeared. But this is Bernie Sanders, the articles from when they tried to smear him as a Nazi when he started winning primaries. And the first one is from the ADL, and it says, sure, Nazi flag. So this is how they do this. They're not saying that Bernie Sanders is a Nazi. They're just reporting the facts. Nazi flag unfurled at a rally for Bernie Sanders. Well, why is this on the ADL's page as if Bernie Sanders supports this? Well, here it is. So shortly after Sanders took the stage for a rally in Phoenix, Arizona, the cheering crowd descended into boos when a man, at least they said the crowd booed, when a man in the stands unfurled a Nazi flag. The man then reportedly performed a Nazi salute and shouted anti-Jewish slurs before being escorted off the premises by security forces. So that's the genesis of this story, the ADL. Now look at the headline over here on PBS. This is PBS News. Jewish groups condemn Nazi flag display at Sanders, Arizona rally. So that's how they set this fucking up. That's how they tee this shit up. So now, as you can see, PBS News has the fodder to go, oh, well, Jewish groups, aka the ADL, condemned a Nazi flag at a Bernie Sanders rally. And most people don't read beyond that. They're not going to see the part about how the crowd booed it and the guy was quickly escorted out. They're just going to see the headline from PBS that says Jewish groups condemned a Nazi flag at a Bernie Sanders rally and go, oh, wow, Bernie Sanders must have a lot of Nazi followers. Yeah, a Jewish Holocaust survivor has a lot of Nazi followers. And again, here's a guy who's not pro-AIPAC, who suddenly has a Nazi tattoo, and all these dumb fuck lemming leftists are like, oh, he's totally a fucking Nazi. I believe it. I definitely buy it. It's gotta be true because MSNBC and all these, fucking liberal outlets are saying it, so I totally believe it now. It's very sad, but it's something that I wanted to point out with and grapple with, because this is why the left wields zero electoral power, because they let they step on these rakes. This is a fucking gigantic rake step. Anyone who's out there going oh, this Graham Platner dude is a Nazi is fucking stomping a rake and smacking their face with the handle is what they're doing. The point of this, one more time, is that don't be one of these people. Ain't that America? You and me. Ain't that America? Jesus Christ.